good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? So it's chapter 58 today, and the title is, I just decided the title, chapter 58, Berlin, my darling. I'm writing a book, yeah, and it's chapter 58, and the one I dated Oskar, the tin drum. Yeah. So my name is Yasmina Paolacci. I'm a writer, artist, actor, voice artist, radio host, yeah, and so much more. Animal lover, cats and dog lover, yeah, and yeah, in love with life. I hope you feel the same. You know what I mean? Life is what you do out of it, you know, so I do always and try to do the best out of it. And I work with affirmations and stuff, and I love the stuff, for instance, from Esther and Jerry Hicks. And finally, after a very long time, it happened that I found a like-minded person who's into that. So we encourage each other, yeah, with all that, which is a great reminder, you know, and then you boost each other constantly. Just have to look at the light. It's good. Yeah, this one did my granny, and this is my mug. Oh, I can show you my artwork. I'm starting a new series. Yeah, just a sec. I'm showing you. It's actually quite cool because I don't know where that goes. Yeah. So we will see. But it's not too bad, yeah? Look. It's cool though. Yeah, but it's the first one. I learned, you know, when you create things, you need to be ready to fail and create shit. To also then create marvelous things, you know? It all links together, you know? So anyway, it's a new wave, chapter 58. The one I dated Oskar, the tin drum. But in the meantime, it's already November. Since October, I have been running to the most different doctors. I was even at the ear, nose and throat clinic to have myself examined very closely. And after the 5th or 6th specialist who examined me and tests, you know, now came out that I have Lyme disease. And everything was tuned to super alarms, as I was very close to severe meningitis. I'm not kidding, it's true. I have been having earaches and fever for weeks, and it was getting worse and worse. It's not fun, Lyme disease, honestly. But even that, I have to share. May I share that with you? Even at that time, you know, when I did have that, intuitively and subconsciously, I was focusing on healing and, you know, getting through it and over it, and really focusing what I really wanted to do. Meaning I wanted to go and study acting, you know, and doing all these things. But meningitis, you know, means, and Lyme disease, I found out later when I was actually studying that it could have happened that I would have been half impacted, like not being able to really talk or even move your face or anything, you know. So I was really lucky and obviously really much guided by the spirits and angels. So Yeah. And intuitively, I did the right thing. I focused on the good stuff, which I learned much later. Now I can say, hey, I'm a money magnet, I'm a manifester. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, you know what I mean? Because, as I got that wonderful quote from Margie, who's spilling the tea almost daily, God hired me, who's going to fire me? Exactly, who? Huh? So, this wonderful phrase as well, Upworks Wonders. One of my heroes told me that many years ago, Larry T. He's a DJ. He used to be New York legend in the club scene. And he's a designer. And, he started to be a designer in fashion, like in his 50s, And now I started to have my fashion line as well, It's like, and he believed in me and he saw things in me I couldn't see at that time. But, thank you to that. And he said that quote, everything works out always well for me. And if you say these things, to yourself daily, it definitely boosts your mindset tremendously. And it goes in a different direction. So, okay, so meningitis, yeah, could skip that, luckily. And so I'm on a lot of antibiotics, which personally I can't tolerate them at all. I get always severe side effects from it. Sometimes it gets better, and then I go out with Oskar, my housemate, but afterwards I'm bedridden for days. I have the feeling I'm getting weaker and weaker. My immune system is completely shut down, and that was really like hard to swallow when you're young and you have talents, and you finally come to that point that you realize you have talents and ambitions, and you're completely shut down. You can't do anything about it. Ulka often cooks miso soup and all that weird Japanese stuff, but it worked. It's healthy, but it tasted weird. I needed some time to get used to that. There's a great invitation blowing into the house. The first Berlin Insane. A kind of festival with all the popular local musicians and bands. The main event will take place at Big Eden on Kudamm, the former West Berlin. I have a frog in my throat. Just a sec. Isn't that a nice mark? It's one of my designs, yeah? The link is down below, Redbubble, and I'm drinking green tea. So Ulk and I, we get ready and take line 1, Linie 1, from Warschauer Street up to Kurfürstendamm. It's quite unusual to go to Kudamm. It's a short version of Kurfürstendamm. Kudamm, like the cow, to party at Kudamm. Charlottenburg has been out for decades, as far as party miles are concerned. It's more for the posh there. It's really too dignified for my taste, although I've always enjoyed being in the area from time to time, or going to the theatre or shopping and all that. But it's great. It's Charlottenburg, If you see, like, compared to London, like Hamburg, it would be Hamburg, Altona, Hamburg, Ulster, and then in London it would be, well, Hampstead Heath-ish, Kensington, these areas. So, Big Eden. That was already a club in the 60s. At least in the 80s, but I think it was already there in the 60s, yeah. We're on the guest list. That's really super friendly. But I'm also so much of a guest list person, you know, I have to say. Yes. They have great acts. I'm amazed, you know, this great atmosphere, great personalities, and for me personally, it was great because, you know, I was quite many weeks bedridden. You know, I couldn't do much. And then finally being out was great. And I know many faces, such as Krylan Superstar and Gabriel Walsh. They're present, and they're in one of the line acts. And I mentioned them in an earlier chapter where I went to Paris. So you're happy and welcome. If you haven't seen that chapter, you know, look at my watch list, yeah. So later in the evening, I meet Die Blechtrommel, the tin drum, which is a film, was directed by Volker Schlöndorff, and it was in the early 80s. And the tin drum, Oskar, you know, a little boy, is now not a little boy anymore, but, you know, I met him there. His real name is David Bennett, and who is quite cheeky for such a dwarf. Literally a poison dwarf. I'm sorry, I love you, David Bennett. But, you know, don't get me wrong. Then I meet Shara, a transsexual. The first one I've met in my life. She's such a sweetheart of a person, yeah? Really, such a darling. Yes, and in the cuddle lounge, I meet Sandra Süßmilch, a tranny who holds hands with me so sweetly, and we get on really well, and are immediately super connected. You know? The tin drum, Oskar, wants my phone number and asked me if I wanted to marry him. It's all in fun, you know. Sure, I say, and here's my number. I had that a couple of times, you know. Last time, I went to an event, Evolve Love. It was spectacular. Very sparkling air and stuff. It was great. And the guys were quite intimidated by the power and energy and, you know, from women, all ages, you know. So, and I met a guy there. We were, you know, it was fun, and all of a sudden he mentioned, well, you know, how I'm European, what about we get married? And I said, yes, that's a great idea because he's British. I said, that's quite convenient. We can do that. You know, it didn't happen. Well, you know, he even gave me a couple of days later a ring, and he already sent an application, you know. I think it's a counseling or something like that, you know. Yeah, but we didn't do it. Yeah. I like to be independent, by the way. Anita and George, my friends, I mentioned a few times in earlier chapters, are also there. And later, I move on with Anita. We take the shuttle service and drive over to the white trash in Mitte, the central district. And we stay there for an Absacker and meet a few other people, and then end up at Lehnbachplatz in Friedrichshain on the corner of Sunday Street, Sonntagsstraße, and stay there for quite a long time and are on countless drugs and talk to each other, probably like over each other, you know, very bubbly. And we are in a really good mood. So yeah, Anita and I were in a very good mood. It was partying and stuff like that. I love celebrating, and that's what makes life really, really beautiful. You know? So I'm in love with life. You always have to spice up your life. I mean, even my yoga sessions, or recovery, as I'm in recovery as well for many years now. Started to do real recovery, like with 12-step groups and all that, like 10 years ago. But you spice up your recovery. That's my suggestion. If you go into recovery, spice it up as much as you can, because it can get boring. Same with meditation. I mean, I really love the transcendental meditation. It was really inspired by David Lynch, especially after I took his masterclass. It's such a great, inspiring personality. Not only how he talks about art and how to produce a film or write a script, but also he talks a lot and teaches transcendental meditation. And he recommends to do so for a number of days, 1.5 hours. So I managed 3 days, and it's really great. But since then I haven't done that again, but I definitely want to do that again. And giving myself time where you really take off everything, like no internet, no phone, nothing. You just do your meditation. It was great. So I also, before I go into writing my book, I listen to music. I have music on when I write, and when I do my drawings and paintings and stuff, or designs, I bring myself and tune in a good mood, like in a good frequency, like in a good, and I'm energized, Yeah. I mean, sometimes, and I've done that, and I was like heartbroken and stuff, putting myself together, and then channeled that, and I did good artwork, and some resulted even then that I actually sold them, But it also brought me quickly in a completely different mindset. That's why, it's recently a very special one asked me if when I have kids and, relationships and stuff like that. And I answered that I'm actually already very happy, and very satisfied and fulfilled, because I have a lot going on. I'm emerging, I have my spiritual programs and tools I'm using daily, and I love going into nature. I have my pets, it's lovely. I love cooking. I love hanging out with people, and I love dancing and all these things, but I'm really fulfilled. I don't need to have a relationship, like a romantic relationship, to be more happy. I'm not looking for my other half, because I'm full, I'm complete. So that's the difference, I think, And when it's meant to be, you meet your other complete person who's as complete as you are, and then you work well together. I don't know. Or not, You never know, I believe also in fate. What do you believe in? So anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, please like and subscribe. You help me a lot, and also to change the algorithm, YouTube algorithm, and support me. There's nothing wrong with that, So I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, please write comments down below. And please have a look on my website and shops, Shopify, you know. And if you have questions, you can email me. Also, yeah, check out my Instagram. Baby,